Hi everybody, I'm Phil Thompson and welcome to this mini lesson video on the 2013-14 North Carolina Senior High All-State Honors Band Audition Etude, required etude for clarinet. I'll start off with a brief description of how I perform the piece, followed by a performance itself, give you some ideas. And I suggest also that you start, however, with my intro video to All-State Band Auditions, which is available on YouTube and also at the top of the instructional videos drop-down page at my website, www.woodwindperformance.com. So, I hope you find this information of musical value and best of luck with this year's audition. This All-State Senior Level Required Etude is one of 9 caprices transcribed by Rose. And a caprice is a lively and intense, virtuosic, almost show-off kind of piece of music. This etude is absolutely no exception. The judges are going to be listening for continuity in your musicality, which we'll talk about in just a second, and your sheer technique, and just how accurately did you play so many notes. And we'll talk about little tricks on that as well. Stamina is a real big issue with this piece of music. It's marked at the top, quarter note equals 72. Now, even starting down here where you're asked to start and play till the end, that takes about 2 minutes, 30 seconds, give or take. That's a long time. I spent a lot of time preparing this and deciding the best musical and physical places to breathe. They're all marked in here. If my breaths have 2 circles, that tells me you better get a big one or you're in serious trouble. There are a few in here in parentheses that I may or may not have taken. I put them in just to help you along. Along with breathing too, there are a couple of things to note, and I want you to pay particular attention to as you watch me play this and listen to it in just a minute. That breath there, there, and there, I think you can see them with 2 little check marks. By the time I get there, I have played long enough and am physically taxed enough that I will actually get to this point and I actually exhale a little bit of leftover stale air in my lungs before I inhale. I do it 3 times to refresh myself. If I get distracted mentally because this piece is so hard to play from a breathing and phrasing standpoint, I know I'm going to mess up my technique in playing it. And let's see, oh, this breath right here, take special note. When I got there, those 2 beats rest, I literally pulled the horn, the mouthpiece, out of my mouth and took a breath, got set, and started playing without losing any time. Anything you can do to keep the continuity moving in this long piece from a breathing standpoint and not lose time, but refresh yourself, you're going to play with better technique. As far as the tempo is concerned also, it's labeled at the top moderato, very moderato. So 72, if this were just 16th notes, it wouldn't be so bad, but with the sextuplets, be very careful. These sextuplets, when you play a line, say of a measure of sextuplets right here, and then you go back into 16ths, the tendency is to rush the 16ths like crazy. I'm constantly trying to hold back and make sure that I don't start rushing here and here with all the 16ths, because if you rush there and you get down, say, to here, you're going to be going so fast you can't play those notes and play them correctly, right notes and right articulations. So be careful, hang on to the tempo, don't let the sextuplets rush your 16ths. Watch out for accidentals in this tricky piece. The piece, by starting here, is actually starting off in F minor. Now F minor, any minor key is going to have many more accidentals that go along with the idea behind minor keys, to say nothing of F minor having 4 flats in the key signature if it had a key signature. So if you're wondering why all the accidentals are in there, all the way down to about here and finally there, which is sort of the recapitulation of the recap, the beginning of the piece starting over, you really don't hit F major 1 flat until down around here. That's where all these flats and a few sharps came from. There are a lot of diminished chords in here. So be careful, and of course make sure that all accidentals carry through the measure and you're playing the right notes. Let's see, what else? There are a couple little tricks in here. For instance, I put an asterisk over that F natural right there. It's a theory thing, but that chord starts off as a fully diminished 7th chord, which if you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. But halfway down through it, that F in there makes it a half diminished 7th chord, and it's tricky with starting with an E and yet there's an F in there. There's a couple of little tricks in this thing that I don't know if the judges will even catch them or not, but again, the player who plays with the most continuity and correctness is going to win first chair with this. So watch out for the notes. Of course, at this tempo, articulation-wise, everything is with tut and separated as such. So you've got, especially on the sextuplets, tia-ta, tia-ta, tia-ta. It's got to be with a tut, stopping the reed with the tongue through 16ths like this. Tut-tia-tut-tut-tia-tut-tut-tia-tut-tut. It's the only way you're going to get through it. Keep it clean and with continuity. Dynamics are self-explanatory. Simply maintain what you're given and make the piece just come alive. There's a lot of little dynamics in here. Also, along with dynamics and articulations, there are a lot of accents in here. These accents are done as much with the air and an air push as they are with a harder tongue. So it's a combination of both to be very musical. All right, I could talk about this piece all day. Let me play it for you, see what you think. Hopefully you can use some ideas. I will tell you, I recorded this piece several times over and over to get the best take. The first time I played it, I think was absolutely my best possible playing through here, and I don't think I missed anything till I got all the way to the high F and I squeaked. I can't believe it. I had a few choice words to say about that. As far as that high F is concerned, and also that F right there, I wrote out, and you may know this fingering already, what we call long high F, where all 6 front holes are covered, the thumb and the register, the thumb hole and the register key are on, and the G sharp key is pressed without the E flat. We call that long F. That note will come out, it'll speak well, it'll be well in tune, and as tired as you're going to be, that's my suggestion for fingering for that F there and here as well. If your private teacher has other ideas, by all means follow what he or she has to say about it, but it worked for me. Anyway, listen again and best of luck with this very tough piece.